Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall is 7:38 on Friday night. Back a bit earlier. I want to get watching the racing, and I hadn't my dinner yet. I was finished at back here about 5. So I came straight to the laptop, and I'm a couple hours sussing out stuff. Um, Looking at this, looking at that, changing my mind, going back again, weeding out, and hopefully I have selected a couple of winners at least anyway, and maybe a couple of places. It'd be great if we done as well as we did last year, but it's hard to go back to back like that when they're in different places. Santa Anita has been good to us down through the years. Reasonable enough, and we had in Delmare when it was in 2021. So hopefully we get a few. I'll get it through it as quick as I can, and I've picked out 3 for Ascot tomorrow. There's a handicap chase there at 3:45, and the ground is down as good, 3 mile chase. It sways me to a horse that we backed before, and the trip and everything was against it. But 3 mile on good ground, I've said before, is the trip for Amirite. Now he's a bit of a, some people say he's a pig, but he's a pig on bad ground. And if you look at when the last time he ran was soft ground, ran reasonable enough in the Galway plate, but his best run was in on good ground in the Sandown Leisure, but he didn't stay. That was over a trip. But Henry, the Ramhead is in good form. He had a winner for us last Saturday. It's decent enough each way price, so I picked him out. 6-1, 5-1. Gigantic Classico is the classiest. It's the favourite, but I went for a safe play. Kim Bailey hit the ground running, but he's over 10 recently. In the 3:15, the Lanzarote hurdle. I went for horse. I tipped up a couple of weeks ago, but it was a non-runner. Well, or did I give strong word to it? Was Fiercely Proud. It was 7th when last seen behind Secret Square, who was 5th in a handicap hurl. Been Pauling is going well. I was saying a better jockey on it than the apprentice that was down the last day. I'm taking Fiercely Proud in that race, and in the what race? The 205. If we make another one. Horse that does well first time out is Master Chewy. It's 3-1 Fav. Second year novice. Nigel Twiston Davis going all right. 6 out of 31. 19%. Thomas Bellamy in the plate. So there's 3 that I picked at Ascot tomorrow. For lovers of the NH. On we go to the Breeders' Cup tomorrow. In the undercar tomorrow, there's a horse that Irish and indeed UK horse or punters will be familiar with. A horse called Aspen Grove. It used to be with Fozzie Stack. And I think the mile, it might be better at a mile than it is over, although someone could say he hasn't the toe to be a mile, but he might just get the run of it. If you look back when he left Fozzie Tag, he was only rated 112. He ran a decent race, but it's an each way play. Looks like it might have been trained for the race. I see, what do you call them? The owners. Mrs. John Magnier is involved, so they like a good run for the money on the big day. It's rated 115. Tyler Gaffleone in the plate. On to the Breeders' Cup, 7 o'clock. Fillies and Mares. As you know, I like Arad Ortiz Jr. we were on Sheila the last time it ran. It was beaten by Society, but the horse that I caught my eye that day looks like it was trained for this race by a former classic winner, Gun Runner. It was going well last year and put away from the 22nd of June to this race in Saratoga, where Society wins. Still, we were on that second, and he was backed into favouritism, but he wasn't too busy on him, and he needed the run. He'd be on the rail.
Vahva has room along the inside. They have to catch Society, who leads by a length, coming to the 8th ball. Now it's a length and a half, now 2. Scylla trying her best. Vahva along the inside third, a 16th to run, and Society brought her A-game, and she's much the best in the ballerina under Tyler Gaffleone, scoring by 3.5 lengths. Scylla was second, Vahva finished third.
Radar Teeth stays patiently with the horse, and as my selection in that race, Vahva. Society will be hard cracked already. I just think that Scylla needs a mile. On to the Breeders' Cup Sprint, a horse that I tipped up, Antipost at 11-4. It's my nap of the meeting. Cogburn, 7 for 8 on the turf, lifetime. And if you look at, let's go back to Saratoga, won in the last day. But it has pace, this lad.
Loaded with a 3-length advantage. He's running powerfully. Coppola is racing in second. A wall of horses trying to get through, including Star of Mystery. And on the outside, Arzak is finding his best stride. Center of the course, Mischief, Magic, but Cogburn dominates the giant.
Won in Kentucky Downs since. And was beaten in the same race last year in Kentucky Downs, but it looks to be a different proposition this year altogether. We have a horse Believing. We backed it a couple of times there. We backed Starlust as well. Starlust would have a shot at that. A shot at getting places. Anyone that's paying 4 places. It'll be coming late. No, it's in trap 4. It'll be out and winging. It was out and winging. Which was third there before. No good in Longchamp. Cogburn is the bet in anyway. And Thorpedo Anna, in spite of 3-year-olds not having a great record in this race, the distaff, 3-year-olds won it in 2018, 2013 and 14, but there were three above average horses in the distaff. I must have deleted what I was looking at. Did I? I did. They were above average. This is above average as well on its run. I prefer if this was a mile 2, but should be fast, finishing late. Like, she wouldn't be out of place in the Classic on her run here against the boys in the Travers. Like, Sierra Leone and Fierceness are...
Stretch and Fierceness takes command. Sierra Leone is coming with his run on the outside of Thorpedo Anna, who's currently second. They're in the final furlong. Johnny V asking Fierceness for everything he has. 3-length lead. Thorpedo Anna running her heart out and coming with every stride. Fierceness, Thorpedo Anna in an absolutely dramatic conclusion. The champ is back.
I thought to Mike, well, playing safe to win a grade 1. It looks hers to lose I put up last night a double with that on Cogburn. Cogburn, it's in trap 9. That's the only slight doubt. It needs to get out and it doesn't get bothered. But if it gets out, it should be thereabouts. We go on to the turf. Rebels Romance won this 2 years ago when it was in Keeneland. It won well enough the last time too, beating... It was in Germany, wasn't it? It won its prep race, and it had won its prep race in Germany before it ran in... in Keeneland. It had a busier campaign that year. Has been targeted for the race. Look workmanlike the last year, just nearly gone off the boil. I went with Emily Upjohn, Dottore, the Italian man, Lanfranco. A mile and a half on good firm turf this needs, and the last time it ran was behind Blue Stocking on ground that wasn't right for it. It was soft, which was closing all the way to the line in Longchamp.
But Blue Stocking in the pink cap against the running well is trying to fight her off. Emily Upjohn's 2 lengths behind those. Opera Singers behind him in 4th. They're well strung out here. Aventure trying to get past Blue Stocking, who's very determined and fighting her off. Blue Stocking has won it. Second Aventure, Emily Upjohn behind them.
She goes on to get win the Prix de l'Arc. Johnny G doesn't make many plane tickets for horses unless they have a rattling good chance. It's amazing. Well, not amazing, but that's the wrong word. It's a bit surprising, but he went for that instead of for the distance. The other one was the back and trip. I think it is a right. It was 5-1 there yesterday. I picked it out. JRB, 3-year-olds. They won it in 2 of the last 3, actually. 3-year-olds have won it. August Rodan won it last year. But I'm going with Emily Upjohn, Dottore. Breeders' Cup Classic. This has changed. It's not the last race of the meeting like it was always. I don't know why they're doing that. Someone told me there was a reason for it. I forget what it was. City of Troy is all the rage. 3-year-olds don't win this too often. They won it in 2020, 2015 and 16, but they were way above average as well. I think there's going to be an awful lot of pace in this race. And I've gone with 2 outsiders, 2 closers. They're paying 4 places a lot of the bookies. If you get one of them, one of the 2 outsiders placed, you're slightly in profit. If you got the 2 of them, you're up money, and if you got one of them to win and the other one to place, you need the wheelbarrow. I think there's going to be a fierce amount of pace in this, and I think even though it's a 7-year-old, Ushba Tesoro, that's a closer. And even though it was beaten as a 1-4 shot the last day, it closed all the way to the line, and that was a prep run for this. That's hit there number 4, giving it socks. Look at him, watch him. Here he comes. It finished 5th last year in not beating that fair. And the other one, I think, is a massive price, is Newgate. Went with this in a bet a few weeks ago, and it hadn't ran from Medan. 33-1 shot in a lot of places. But it needs the last time it ran at 10 furlongs was in the Santa Anita Handicap, and it beat the horse that beat it the last time. but he was aiming at a fast pace, and that's why I'm sticking this in
Turns
as
for
well.
home with a 2-length lead. Subsonador comes out to
There's the
chase
same
him
here.
home. And in the center of the track, Newgate is bearing down in third. Here comes Newgate with big strides after National Treasure. National Treasure, Subsonador, and Newgate. Three of them line up in an absolute thriller. Subsonador in between horses. Here's the line. Subsonador and Mike Smith.
I think he has first time blinkers, hasn't he? Bafford gets them ready as gives them the old carrots. Where are we? First time blinkers. Lanfranco Dettori. Jeez, I forgot about that. Dettori up again. But he likes the big day. Now, City of Troy, it's an unknown how it, but there's way too much hype about the horse altogether. Like he could actually hose up by Justify out of Galileo Mare. She like cut, but Justify it could actually hose up. But I'm going with two outsiders because the old saying, if in doubt, leave them out. On to the Fillies and Mares Turf. A horse making its fourth appearance in the Breeders' Cup. I'm going with that. It's the first time it's run up against its own sex. Is Warlike Goddess. 3-year-olds haven't the best record in this either. This is Class A and it'll be running on late. It needs the trip. Billy Marsh will have it right. I was going for a safe play there. Cinderella's Dream won a Group 2 handy enough the last time. Content, I was disappointed with it in this last run, didn't it? Didn't we tip that the last day? After running terrible in... Like how that is 4-1 after being behind... Ran terrible the last day behind Kilpano. Blame on the ground, the last one won on Good to Firm at 1. Doesn't surprise me in the world what had happened with O'Brien's horses. I'm not sure is that on Lasix. I think O'Brien is giving them all Lasix nowadays. Anyway, I'll try and get this sorted and get it into the oven. The Breeders' Cup Sprint on the dirt. I went with the winner of the 4-go. I always look at the 4-go. A 7 furlong race in the East Coast. In Saratoga. And the last bit was at 6 furlongs at 1. This is a big, strong, imposing horse.
For home, full of run,
in front.
3-length lead. Gun Pilot tips out to try and get to him in second. They're in the final furlong, and Mullekin with powerful strides has built it up to 4. Gun Pilot is no match, neither are any of the others. Mullekin outclasses them in the 4-go, wins it by up.
I won't be stopping, like whether it has the toe out point them. I think it may, but we'll back it each way. I was saying to have the safety net on. Federal judge, yeah, it's decent, but I just thought Mullekin was impressive. We go to the Breeders' Cup Mile. Ramatuli, whatever you want to call it, bus horse, out this evening. Don't know what was the reason, was it the vets or what? Notable speech is the Fav. I thought a safe each way play was Carl Spackler. I was going to go for more than looks, but it comes too late. It's a great turn of foot, but it does carry his head too bloody high. And he doesn't straighten. When he does straighten up his head, he'll be decent. We were on actually last year when it finished 6th, but this yoke was Chad Brown. One loss on firm ground this year, which is favourite. But it's hosed up the last day in. No more than looks closed on it, but I was going to go with more than looks. We went with it last year, but I thought the safe play was Carol Spackler with Tyler Gaffley only for Chaddy Brown. And the last one. The Breeders' Cup Dirt. A horse that ran in the Classic last year and didn't sort of stay was Saudi Crown for Brad Cox. Looks like it has been campaigned for with this in mind. It won over 9 furlongs in Philly last year. Then it didn't stay the 10 hunters behind White Barrio. Won it a mile and a bit with it. I threw out that run in Medan, and the last two then it won in Ellis Park, won the Jones, and went out in front. Hadn't ran for a while, but it won snug enough.
Line. Here comes Race Kane making a move for third with Injunction. Saudi Crown top, disposing of Pipeline, trying to close in Injunction and Race Kane, and 3 Technique and Mr. Wireless. Happy American up the inside. Saudi Crown is clear in deep stretch. Injunction is second. Happy American from a long ways out of it. The RA Cowboy Jones to Saudi Crown.
Saudi Crown. That's another each way play. Now I'm going to get this into the oven and I'm going to put it up. And the chances are I mightn't have time until later to put the names in the description. If it goes up as quick as it did last night, it'll be later because I need to go for a quick bit of grub before the racing starts. I know it's on already, but I want to be the first race at 9:45. So the best luck tomorrow night. Enjoy the racing. Bash the bookies. Over and out.